and welcome back to my channel. It's Bonnie, and for those of you new here, welcome. Today I'm getting ready for something a little different. A solo repositioning cruise on Royal Caribbean's Voyager of the Seas that will eventually take me all the way to Africa. But I can tell you that this is a huge preparation that I have to do for a 30-day trip. I have to make sure I have all the details, everything accounted for. I have definitely traveled a lot. I've been to 72 countries and over 52 cruises. But one thing that is so important is the preparation for your trip. There is a lot that goes into getting ready for a trip like this, especially when you're traveling solo. From e-visas and documents to squeezing all my camera gear into a carry-on and hoping it stays underweight. I will give you a couple helpful hints. They were saying that the way this should work is you should have a third of heavy things, a third of medium things, and a third of light things. And meaning heavy would be between 4 and 6 pounds, the light would be under 2 pounds, and the medium would be, say, 1 to 3 pounds. If you have it situated like that, apparently you won't go overweight. So I've never thought about it like that, but lately I notice I select clothes that are super lightweight, capsule wardrobe. My biggest problem is with shoes usually. I decided today that I'm just taking a tan heel for my dress things for the cruise. That way I cover the shoes. It will save me 3 pairs of shoes. In Europe, they are really strict about the size of the bag, so I did find this bag that I really liked. Airlines will bother you as much if you're carrying something on your shoulder. This is holding a week's worth of clothes for Africa. The particular trip I'm going on will not allow you to take any wheeled luggage, and this will just be a 7-day adventure. So I am packing pretty light for that. And then secondly, I have another bag separate as a personal item. It's a shoulder bag that will act as a backpack. And then on the side of that, I'm checking a bag full of clothes for my cruise. And my cruise, the bag cannot weigh more than 50 pounds, which is pretty generous. One thing I never skip for a long journey like this is travel medical insurance. It's simple, affordable, and covers me wherever I go, land or sea, for just a few dollars a day. This video I am partnering with Safety Wing, and that's another thing, insurance. Insurance is so important. I mean, that is one detail sometimes people forget. They think, it won't happen to me. And also you have to realize that as a solo traveler, you don't really have anyone to rely on. So if at least you have a phone number to call and an American or English-speaking person to talk to, they can maybe walk you through what it is you need to know. But they do cover things like lost luggage, delayed interruption in your traveling, and somehow you misconnect. Just things happen like that, so you're covered. And so that's really a advantageous thing. And honestly, I have seen so many incidences. I've seen people fall down on cruise ships, they've slipped. I've seen dislocated shoulders. I've seen dislocated hips. I've seen a broken toe. And actually, by getting insurance, it's just peace of mind to know you're covered, because the ship has the doctor. They will help you out, but then I don't know what the kind of medical cost that would come into. I personally have been so fortunate to never have any issues, but I always do make sure I have insurance. And Safety Wing is just a company that I can count on, an easy thing to sign up. It takes a few minutes, so I feel it's a reputable company. This particular safari required insurance, but I get it anyway each time just in case. My trip goes from Barcelona all the way to Africa. I decided I want to see Victoria Falls. I have always wanted to see that ever since I was a kid. So I am going to go spend 2 days, and then from there I am taking a safari. And that is why I'm packing my beige bag, because I can only take that type of bag on a light aircraft into the Okavango Delta, and we will be hanging out in a camp there. It's solo travel. I'm by myself. My husband doesn't want to come on this trip, and that's fine. This is my thing. But like I say, the insurance, like a friend of mine, she was just in Peru and she was in Cusco, and actually even she was trying to get to Machu Picchu, and I think she slipped or fell somehow, and she did something to her hand and she had to get a plate in it. She hurt her foot. She was in the hospital for 2 days. So she was able to work that out through insurance. It had to save a ton of money. I just wanted to add that this policy, like I say, it's a few dollars a day. You can add a rider on for electronic equipment in case it gets stolen. So those kinds of things are super helpful. I would never not have insurance at this point. You know, that's all you want. You want somebody that's going to listen to you, that's efficient, and gets things taken care of. I mean, I'm not like jinxing myself. Let's knock on wood that I'm not going to have any problems. But if I did, I know that I'd be taken care of by Safety Wings. Sign up was super simple, a few minutes of your time, and for me personally, it's who I choose to go with. But let's get on with the packing. I am just really nervous to see if this bag is going to be overweight or not. All right, so one of my other tips, aside from insurance and being prepared in every way, planning accordingly, would be the luggage scale. So I always have one of these at home, weigh my things midway to see how off I am, and then towards the end. So I'm towards the end. It's 5 days before my trip. I have my other bag packed that I showed you for Africa with 7 days worth of clothing. That's all fine. If I'm overweight, I'm gonna have to get rid of some things, and it's a major setback, but I'll make it. I'm at 46.5 pounds. Wow, that's such a relief. It's going to be Halloween on my trip, so I'm bringing a cape with a mask in case they do some type of fun activity on the ship. Yay, it worked. So let's see what the rest of this trip entails. I'm going to be bringing you along through the airport and all my experiences as we go all the way to Barcelona. So let's go. Victoria Falls. It's been a dream of mine since I was a young child to see that, because my parents went there in the 1960s, and I've always been so enamored with the whole idea of going there. So I'm going to be taking that trip this year. I thought, you know, I better do it now while I can. A copy of my immunization, my itinerary, some phone numbers on it. So some people are anti-packing cubes and some people like them. What are your thoughts on that? And this one is malaria. I had to get with an international nurse, and I needed 7 inoculations. That's another thing you need to do, a logistics thing, like can you hold luggage for me? Imagine being weighed for a flight for 3 to 6 people. And we'll be transported to this camp that's on a river. It holds 14 people. It is kind of rustic. I am excited. I can't wait to go. This is really a big trip for me. I just can't believe that I'm doing this. It's kind of scary, but I'm going to do it and see how it goes. Oh, and another thing I bought, an insect scarf. Never heard of this, but apparently it will hold up for 70 washings and it repels mosquitoes. So I will be wearing that as well. It's showtime. I ended up going with a rolling bag until Africa, and then I'll switch it over to a carry one because I have way too much. All that's just camera gear.
Please have most of the following safety-related items as you prepare for departure.
I did make it to Atlanta, and I took the tram from the baggage claim area, came to a Marriott. It's a gateway, a Marriott. So you take the tram, you have to go upstairs, take the tram, and get off at the garage area. You can see there's places to sit, the lobby out that way. I was contemplating a day rate. That's the 9 to 4 is the price. The things you do. My flight doesn't leave till 5 and it's about 7:30 in the morning. But this is a good tip just to get away from the airport in general. You can't check it in except for 4 hours before the flight, so I'm kind of stuck. And I will make the most of it so I can get some work done. And I'm checking in for my next flight. I was able to check in my bag. I'm really excited because they let me check in my carry-on for free. That's another tip I want to tell you. Usually for me, I say, this carry-on, I want to check it. Would you take it for free? And they're like, yes, we'd love to because it's a full flight. It would have cost me $100, but another thing I was going to say is the TSA pre-check really helps too, and it does work internationally. Quiet here. I don't know if it's because it's Sunday or it's off-season or something. And then the lounge is just right up these escalators called Club Atlanta. Because I have a priority pass and I pay $35 each time. Unfortunately, the lounge is full and they say there's a wait list. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't think I'm going to wait. And I found a Starbucks right here, so I'm going to go into there. 5:30 in the morning. I am in Amsterdam and I need to go to see my connection for Barcelona. It is cold here. This is the bathroom. I thought I was in a spa, an airport bathroom. Usually this coffee place is open. You don't necessarily have to go to a lounge. You can always just come to places like this. Quite a walk from my gate. So just pack to where you can walk. Amazing chocolate. It's Amsterdam. I like all the blue. I made it. Got all my bags. And buy these on Amazon. I'm supposed to go out this door and supposed to find my Barcelona connection to the cruise ship. And they're all waiting here for us, so it's really easy. It's right out of the baggage claim, so it's super easy to find. These people took my bag right away from here and they're loading it onto the ship, so that's nice. Those are advantages for booking this here transportation, because I know it's probably about $50 to the port in a taxi. This way you're going with a group, but the only problem is that you have to wait for people. I think she said there's like 17 people, but it's 11:12 at the moment, and I got off the plane at 10. It's really easy to find them. There's no problem. And as a solo traveler, I mean, it took guts to get on the plane. I can tell you I was afraid, but now I feel fine. Maybe because I'm so exhausted. 2 days of traveling to get here. I finally made it. But thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Again, this is a trip that's repositioning from Barcelona to Cape Town via some other places, and then from there I'll be doing a safari. So yeah, it'll be quite an adventure. So stay tuned. It's going to be an exciting time, so you don't want to miss that. If you have found this helpful, informative, or you learned something, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe for more cruise tips and travel information. After 2 long travel days, it feels amazing to finally see the Voyager of the seas. Let's get on board and start this new adventure. Thank you so much for watching. Happy cruising, and until next time.